We begin today with breaking news. A major legal battle involving Mike Lindell has come to an end. The voting technology company, formerly known as Dominion Voting Systems, now operating as Liberty Vote, has agreed to dismiss a $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit against Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Court filings show both sides agreed to drop all claims with prejudice. That means the case cannot be refiled. The lawsuit stemmed from Mike's repeated claims that Dominion helped rig the 2020 presidential election, allegations the company strongly denied. The dismissal marks a significant end to one of the most closely watched election-related lawsuits stemming from the 2020 presidential race. And coming up in the next half hour, we will have reaction from Mike Lindell, so stick around for that. Again, our top story today, he will be joining us with reaction.
After 250 years, the American experiment still isn't finished. It's been built, tested, carried forward, and fought for. And we passed it on, hand to hand, life to life. Generations ago, ordinary people risked everything to begin it. 250 years later, the work continues. Because freedom is worth it. This year, America turns 250.
And today we are honoring America. 250 years of freedom. And the birthday celebrations really start to kick off tonight in Washington, D.C. President Trump holding a rally this evening before the Great American State Fair begins tomorrow. America is built off immigrants coming here from countries all over the world. Our ancestors. We look back decades on how we got here.
My parents came here from Switzerland. My father was a pastry chef. My mom came over on vacation to learn English. Next thing you know, they were engaged and got married on the 4th of July and never left.
My maternal grandfather came over on the Mayflower.
My family was in New Mexico 250 years ago. A mix of Spanish, Mexican Indian, Puebloan Indian, Genízaro.
America is the greatest country on earth because it's composed of people from everywhere on earth. I think it's more important now than ever to record these stories, and hopefully in doing so we can tie that thread that bonds us.
And that's exactly what we're doing through programs like Our American Story. This initiative is about gathering voices from across America to build the largest oral and visual history collection in our country's history. We established 56 official America 250 commissions in all 50 states, D.C., and the 5 territories.
We can't wait to welcome Our American Story to Montana.
It would be great to have you come visit Puerto Rico.
I really can't wait to welcome y'all to Mississippi.
Always eager to get back to Texas, I can assure you. What I'm most proud of is that as commissioners, we work together and politics are never in the room. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle we are.
I have 2 inspirations every day that remind me why I took on this role as chair of America 250, and that is my mom and that is my daughter. Kids are going to look at this looking back, maybe it's 10 years from now, maybe it's 20 years from now. I want them to feel like this was as much about the future as it is the past.
We believe that we can do just most anything, and that is the legacy that I hope to instill in my children, my grandchildren. Everyone can do their part. We can all improve this nation. We can all work together. We can serve in our community, just as our ancestors did.
Let's bring in Craig DeRoche, CEO of Family Policy Alliance. Craig, thanks so much for being here today. You know, we look back at these videos and we hear the stories of Americans, and it really makes you take a step back and realize how far we've come as a nation. And 250 years, we have really come so far. And I love to see all of the celebrations taking place to really honor our heritage.
Thank you for having me on the show, Vanessa. And it's a beautiful and a wonderful thing to be celebrating 250 years of not just a country, but an idea. That's one of the things that makes America different. It's an idea that our families were inspired to pursue. across the Atlantic at great peril and pioneer. And families like mine, three of my four grandparents became American citizens. They weren't born American citizens, but they did it legally and they followed the rules. And it's just a wonderful celebration of that. In 1976, they were all with me. So I got to hear from them when I was a young child what America meant to them and why they came here.
And people come here for the American dream, and anything is possible here in America. So many success stories. You look at Elon Musk. You look at, just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center, and one of the designers there, Craig, was foreign born, and he came to America the legal way. And I'll never forget one of the words he says: "If it wasn't for America, I would be nothing." He came here to live out his dream to be a fashion designer, and now his work is being shown off in the Kennedy Center. So there's so many different stories of people who come here the legal way to pursue better lives for their families, and it's gone on for generations. And I can't wait to see what the next generation holds for America.
Amen to that. And just, for my own family too, Elon Musk is a great success story, but I joke, and it's not a joke, but I teach my kids because they talk about poverty. And I say, one of your great grandparents, one of my grandparents came through Ellis Island with nothing in his pocket. And he built a good life up to where he had a mobile home, that he could retire in with my grandmother, who was a Canadian citizen before she became an American. And then my father, his mother was Canadian as well, didn't have a running water or a toilet in his house until he was 7 years old. This is in the 40s in America, in the Detroit area. But both of the grandparents worked in the factories. They built good lives for their kids. And that's what they came from. That's where my dad came from. And by the time I was 34 years old, I was Speaker of the House in Michigan and living an upper middle class lifestyle and had a college degree. And so I just loved your intro here because it's not just about the past. It's about what we're looking at for a future, with that American dream. What can we do in the next 50 years that just changes world history for the better, human history for the better? I think it's still possible right here in America.
And you're absolutely right. We hear these stories. America 250 has gone all across the country talking to everyday Americans, and there's really this spirit that you sense from everyday Americans. If you get rid of the noise from the media, from social media every day, and you actually go into these communities and you talk to the people, there's a spirit about our country that people just love. America truly is the best nation in the world. Let's take a look at another video real quick of what the American spirit means to all of these people in different communities.
What is the American spirit?
What you're doing for your community. We are the land of the free, but not everything is free.
Has to be distilled down to when we fall down, let's try again and let's try better.
I think probably the main story that comes to my mind in terms of my family's background and how it connects to the American story is my mother arriving during World War II with her family making its way out from the Blitz.
I believe the spirit of America has been like a melting pot. It's not built by one group or collective at any given time. Throughout the history of America, a lot of people have helped build this country.
Being an American is not always easy. It's certainly challenging, but it's certainly one that we continue to show that as Americans, no matter what challenges we have, we can persevere.
To me, the American spirit embodies ambition and drive. I think being in America, there's just endless opportunities to pursue whatever you are passionate about. Immediately from a young age, I was instilled in me that I could do whatever I wanted to, so there was no limit to my dreams.
I love that. You can do whatever you want to do, Craig. There's no limit to your dreams, and that's the American way. And that's what we're celebrating starting this week in Washington, D.C. with the State Fair, representing all of the states, that is, all of the states, all 50 states. and just, recognizing who we are, how far we've come, and just how great this nation is.
And that's why I'm in DC right now. Sorry for the backdrop. I just flew in to DCA here in the city, Reagan Airport, and for the celebration and a bill signing today to keep America going. It's a housing bill. It's a bipartisan bill. I think there were only 32 votes yesterday against it, and more than 25 of them said it was because it didn't include the SAVE Act, which is something that Family Policy Alliance hopes and prays and is working hard to get included into all the legislation. But there's a lot of good still going on in America if you turn away from what the left is doing with the clickbait and almost cultish behavior to try to attack that American dream or demonize it. The truth is that America is owned by the citizens of America. It's not owned by the media. It's not owned by a political party or a political leader. It's owned by all of us. And when they're trashing America, trashing our elections, trashing the culture, well, they're trashing the American idea itself, that we're celebrating the Declaration of Independence, the idea that everybody is created equal. Well, that's actually the American idea. That's what makes us different. That's an affront to DEI. That's an affront to the socialism right now that's being advanced in America. And I think that's why so many people are sick of it. They're over it. And why I think that the celebrations this summer are going to be so special, because they're going to provide such a contrast of what's possible in America and our hopes, and the celebration of what America means to us is always individual too. It isn't something corporately. America's done something in each of our hearts, in each of our lives, special and uniquely. And I'm really looking forward to everything kicking off tomorrow in the National Mall, and really all over all of the 50 states.
Yes, it's so exciting. We've been counting down to this for quite some time, and the day is finally here. I want to give a quick update to our viewers with what's in store. Tonight, President Trump kicks off the rally at the National Mall. He will hold the America is Back rally. And Craig, there's no party like a Trump party. I've been to many rallies, and I'm telling you, if we're going to talk about the American spirit, that's where it's at. And you can just feel the love for our country with all the patriotism when you step through the gates at a Trump rally. So that's going to be monumental tonight. Can't wait for that. Again, been counting down, and the day is finally here. We also have, the State Fair, of course. Every day has a theme for our great country. That starts tomorrow. Then there's also the Mobile Museum. We've been talking to and showing stories this morning of people from all over the country in different states. Well, if you can't make it to DC, that's okay. Just yesterday, we had Colorado on, talking about a big Freedom Fest going on there this weekend to celebrate our 250th birthday, with lots of great people headlining the festival there. If you look at the screen right now, the Mobile Museum is traveling to different states to celebrate our country. So it's trying to come to you as well. There's also a rodeo taking place in Washington, D.C. We've talked about that as well. Rodeo 250, celebrating the cowboys and cowgirls that make our nation great. So there's just so many different celebrations going on, and it really hits everybody's personality. No matter what you love, you're going to find it in America 250. I know there's a lot for everyone to take in because there's so many different events, but you can find it all on one hub. You can go to freedom250.org. That's freedom250.org. There you can find everything that the country is doing to celebrate America. Now, this is not a partisan Democrat party. This is not a Republican party. This is just an American party. And I know the media and social media, bots are trying to divide the America 250 celebration, but this is not a celebration on party. We just happen to have President Trump in office during America 250 celebrations, but I just wanted to clear that up right now. If you love this country, you should be celebrating our 250th anniversary, our 250th birthday, and it's a time to be had. I want to talk about what you do, Family Policy Alliance. If you go to your website, people can really get great information on how you're working together. You know, your homepage right here really sticks out to me, standing together for American families. And Craig, that's where it begins. We talk about how the world can sometimes get a little ugly out there. But if you have that foundation from inside your house walls, at your dinner table, inside your home, when your kids go out into the real world, they will not be persuaded or brainwashed by all the lunatics out there, because they have that great foundation from their family. And you are really big on making sure family comes first, and you defend families every single day. Talk about what you do.
Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. We have 40 state groups, so we are celebrating in all 40 of those states. And yes, we are trying to get to 50 states. So we hope that we say join and then engage and then multiply. We're the largest mobilizer of Christian voters in America to participate in the election. Folks, the future will be decided by who shows up. We're the leader of what is called the social conservative movement. It's things like Save Girls Sports. It's not things that fiscal conservatives seem to care about a lot. When it comes to abortion, we're the ones that look after the unborn American citizen. You know, this isn't just welfare for the mother. There's somebody who's counting on us to get them to a place where they can pay taxes for 70 or 80 years of healthy life as an American citizen. It's a little different perspective when I say social conservative. And we're the most impactful state-based alliance. That's what America is built on. The federal government didn't create the states. The states created a federal government to serve them, right? So we're a state-based movement that makes us different than other people. And we just really think that, and we start with mobilization of voting, reminding people, educating them how to vote in person early. You can drive to your city hall, your precincts. You can vote on ballot right there. So your ballot can't be taken by somebody, as we've seen the video of in California, and these other abuses. That's what America, the Declaration of Independence is what we're celebrating at 250 years. That was about the right to represent yourself to the government, you know, and have your own voice be equal to everybody else's. No matter how rich or important they are, your voice is equal. That only matters if you participate. So really, in our 250th year, Family Policy Alliance was founded and focused on the family and they were founded in 1977, nearly 50 years ago. We come right back to the most important thing is participation. You want the American dream to continue for another 50 years, you got to show up, and Family Policy Alliance can help you do that. So please come and join us today, and we'll help your family be just as powerful as any other family in the country.
FamilyPolicyAlliance.com. Craig, great to have you on the show today. Have a wonderful time in Washington, D.C. Thanks for all your hard work defending families.
Thank you, Vanessa.
And we have more top news headlines coming up after the break, including Texas Democrats fighting for the Quran to be put in public schools. True story. Should our children be taught Islam? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Well, while school is out for the summer, state leaders are working hard daily and making decisions for what your kids learn in the classroom next school year. In Texas, a Democrat lawmaker is pushing for the Quran to be taught in public schools. Texas businessman Weston Martinez will be here with us this morning to talk about this. He was at the meeting. He heard for himself that there is a push for kids to learn Islam. We will talk to him here in just a minute, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In the meantime, the Justice Department has announced the largest healthcare fraud takedown in U.S. history. 455 people have been charged, more than $6.5 billion in alleged fraud. Now, this covers cases filed across 41 states. Who's accused? 90 doctors and other licensed medical professionals. Authorities seized more than $127 million in cash, luxury assets, and property. Here's more from FBI Director Kash Patel.
Those days are over, and this should showcase to the world the length that we will go as an interagency and as a task force to apprehend and arrest and bring to justice anyone who steals our dollars that are meant for our most vulnerable citizens. We're also going to ask what we did in Ohio a couple of weeks ago, and we'll circulate it on social media later. We're adding 2 more individuals to the most wanted fraudster list. I said then, and I've said it before, the American people in the world are our best sources of information. There is no such thing as bad information. So if you have any information on Khalid Sitari, who is wanted for a $547 million genetic testing scheme and we believe to be hiding in the United Arab Emirates, Call 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Let us know. You saw what we did in just 2 weeks by apprehending 2 of the most wanted fraudsters. With your help, we will apprehend the rest of them. The last one is Emily Tai, who's also wanted in connection with a genetic testing scheme for allegedly stealing $90 million. And she was previously on an ankle monitor and fled, we believe, to Vietnam. So if the American public or anyone in the world has information on Emily Tai, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. We need your information. We need your help. And you have now seen what we can collectively do as an interagency under the Attorney General's brilliant leadership and the prioritization at the White House, that fraud will not be tolerated, that fraud perpetrators will be apprehended not just across the United States of America, but from the 4 corners of the world. So we plead with you to give us any and all information that you have. And again, the only type of bad information is the one that we don't receive from you. So please call 1-800-CALL-FBI with any information on any of the fraudsters on our most wanted list. And this should be a clear message to the world that the FBI, along with our interagency partners, are not tolerating fraud anymore. And we will chase them down just like we chase down terrorists, narco traffickers, gangbangers, and those that wish to do harm to our communities, because this type of harm is equally as harmful to our most vulnerable. Thank you.
And here are the alleged fraudsters Kash Patel just mentioned. I just got word from authorities that these 2 people have now been captured. Great news there. It's because of the public helping federal authorities that these 2 most wanted fraudsters have just been captured. The FBI doing great work to bring down America's most wanted. All right, let's go to Weston Martinez now to talk about the push for the Quran to be put in Texas public schools. Very scary. Islam, the Democrats wanting that to be taught to our children. Weston, you were in the meeting this week when that news came out from a Texas Democrat. What was your reaction?
I mean, we were shocked. You know, there were a lot of leaders from around the state, not as many as should have been there, but there was a lot of people there standing for our history, standing for our values, standing for the right for our schools to not turn into woke institutions. Maybe I should say woker institutions. But it was very interesting because as the volley was going on between Julie Pickering, a conservative leader and patriot on the State Board of Education, she was interacting with this state representative, and they were talking about the fact that state law has now, said that the Bible is a qualified history book to be able to be brought in the appropriate setting for the appropriate classroom environment. And this guy makes the comment, well, I think all Bibles for all religions should be able to be in there, including the Quran. And so I looked over at my good friend Rick Green, who we all know from Patriot Academy, and I said, well, Rick, I guess we know that they really mean what they have to say. So there is a fight for the soul of our country. And, the America 250 theme should be America's back and our enemies have never left. And we really are thankful for programs like yours that continue to be vigilant to bring this information to the forefront, because there are people far and wide in our country that don't even know we're under assault, even still today.
You're right. And, most people are on vacation right now. Kids are out of school, and they don't know that this assault that's being had for our Texas schools or for any school in the nation. Because, you and I had a discussion, Weston, that if it gets allowed in Texas schools, this causes a domino effect for other states as well. So the fight is on for great patriots like yourself and Julie, like you just mentioned with the State Board of Education, to make sure our children are protected when school starts back in August and September.
Absolutely. And even just the point about history, in Mexico, they teach that the defenders of the Alamo were nothing more than rapists and drunks, and that Santa Anna was justified in everything that he did. So when we look at what's taking place with the curriculum, we're looking at the state of Texas, the amount of books that we buy impacts every single about 25 to 30 states around the country, because they don't have the purchasing power that we do. So the Americanism that we are celebrating in the 250th year, the rich culture and history that Texas has is absolutely a part of that. And so that's why we need to have parents be vigilant, share, like, and save these programs, because I guarantee you there are PTA presidents around the state of Texas that don't share our values. And they have been, unfortunately, deceived into thinking that what they're being told about is I mean, we had people yesterday that were, very anti anything that is our values, anti-Bible, anti-family, anti-God, and you can't separate it. So yes, you're right. We have to stay vigilant, and they're always going to try to do this when people are not looking.
On your X account, you posted video of that meeting where this discussion was had. I want to play that for our viewers. Take a listen.
You read it. It was an education omnibus bill. It was a very large bill, almost 80 pages. So I'm going to say I hope that you read it. So in that bill, you had a chance to make amendments to limit it to one reading book per grade. Did you ever offer an amendment to limit it?
I didn't even recommend to the board that you should do only one book, so I'm not sure where this is coming from.
Okay, because you, in your testimony just a few minutes ago, you were talking about one book per grade and to give the teachers more latitude in picking.
I didn't talk about, sorry, I'm so sorry, but I didn't talk about one book per grade.
Yes, sir.
I think I can clear it up. That's what I assumed that he had said also. I think he's talking about what percentage, and he referenced like a 70 or 75% number, and that's the debate that we kind of got engaged in a second ago around, well, what is the right number? And he corrected himself, but I have to go back and listen to the case. He didn't say one. That's where my mind went. We've heard it from a lot of testifiers, and we've heard more from a lot of testifiers. So
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, are you familiar with Texas state law? It happened long before you were elected, a long time ago. Are you aware of state law that requires that the Old Testament and the New Testament be part of this reading book list?
It should be, yeah. I have no problem with that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Texas state law, we're trying to stay within the binds of what your legislature passes to tell us to do. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Not yet. Okay.
All right, so Weston, the audio was a little hard to hear. I want you to describe that conversation that was had because you were in a holding area. I guess, there was a place outside the meeting room where you could watch the overflow room where you could watch what was going on. So explain to us the discussion that was being had there.
So there was about 7 hours of testimony. There were like 12 pages of people signed up to testify. I was one of them. And so myself, Rick Green, some of the other people that I mentioned, Covey from Texas Values, we were in the overflow room where we were watching the testimony. And so they were talking about the required books for reading. And they were talking about the books that were allowed and not allowed. And there was a great discussion around the Bible being included as a literary work. And you had folks from the left, from taxpayer-funded lobby groups, by the way, that were out there talking about the fact that these books were lies, were not even of any literary value. And they kept on trying to say that these books needed to be taken off the list. And then, we know as we had the last years, we've had all these conversations about libraries and about books in school libraries. And so the entire required reading list of books is what was up for discussion. Now in Texas, it's really ironic because this State Board of Education, they approve the required learning that needs to be taught. But the school districts are only required to teach 70% of the required learning approved by the state of Texas. And so the conversation here was about those books, what could be included, what could not be included. And that's why you saw the representative from Tarrant County respond that, these other books should be included, and including the Quran. And that's where he says, not yet.
All right, so we lost Weston, but that is great information there. What can you do? You can contact your state leaders, the representatives in your area, and make sure that they know you are not against any types of teachings like these. And the vote has not been held yet. I believe that happens next week. The meeting you just saw that Weston was here talking about was just a discussion. So the vote still has not been had. So we are urging everyone to call your state leaders to make sure you voice your concerns. Okay, now a day was had in Pennsylvania yesterday. President Trump entered an arena to a roaring, energetic crowd for a rally. The president touting successes during his administration. Take a listen.
And starting on my first day back in office, and this goes all the way back to 2016 too, but
right from a year and a half ago. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world by a lot. But I stood up to the trade cheaters. They're cheaters and abusers and violators of the world like no president has ever stood up before. And now I'm standing up again because Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, if that's okay. And we're doing quite well. I placed 50% tariffs on foreign copper, aluminum, and steel so they couldn't come in and steal your jobs. And sometimes even more than 100% tariffs. They weren't going to come in from foreign lands and steal your jobs. If they wanted to come in, they pay 100%, they pay 200%, they pay I don't care what it is. They're not going to steal your jobs, okay? And they stop. And right now we have more factories being built, and I mean car factories, AI factories, factories of every type, than we've ever had in the history of our country by 3 times. That's because they didn't want to pay the tariff. How don't you pay a tariff? You build your factory here and you hire American workers. It's quite simple, actually. But as you know, I placed a 25% tariff on foreign automobiles, and very importantly, I posed a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks so that Mack Truck could do very well with its factory in Pennsylvania. But all American roads will be filled with American trucks very shortly. Very few people are able to compete with us anymore. They used to rip us off. It was like we were a bunch of babies. American labor worked with us, too. I just met the head of your unions, and they've been terrific. They work with us, and they're fair. They treated us good. Maybe we could negotiate a little bit tougher. Where the hell are the union guys? Those guys are great. They're great. There they are. I want to just say hello.
Well, in Pennsylvania, President Trump highlighted the more than 32,000 jobs created in the state under his administration, and that includes 2,600 manufacturing jobs. Also, Eli Lilly announced a $3.5 billion investment for a new manufacturing facility in Pennsylvania. Nokia is investing $30 million to expand, and B Brand announced a $20 million expansion. So all good news coming out of Pennsylvania. More good news. Back to our breaking news story. We now have Mike Lindell joining us now after a major legal battle involving him has come to an end. Mike, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I am just celebrating the good news coming out of this. Tell us about this legal case and what the latest is.
Well, here it is, everybody. This is the second one now. Remember, the evidence, the $5 million challenge got overturned last summer, and they said Mike was right. This is all about the voting machine evidence. And now yesterday, if you don't see it in the news, they did one article out there from Law and Crime. Dominion dropped the lawsuit against Mike Lindell and MyPillow. That was yesterday. So, and I just want everybody to know it doesn't mean anything that I'm going to stop fighting these voting machine companies to, it was a nice gesture, but we are going to go, we're all in to get them, get rid of them, get to paper ballots hand counted. And here I'm going to announce right now, it should be within the next half hour. We're going to be posting on LINDELLTV, everybody. It's 800-page historical drop of the voting machine evidence. This has never been seen before. A lot of it you might have, we have bits and pieces were out there. This has been compiled over the last 5 years. This will be right here on LINDELLTV. It'll be posted, like I say, in about 20 minutes. We're doing a press release on it, and anyone that ever tells you then, Vanessa, that ever says, oh, there's no evidence, this is like a library. It's a historical library with 500 and some, articles and 100% evidence that back each thing up. This was actually part of this given to the president when he was told by when he walked off that's reporter a few weeks ago, and he re-truthed it. So it's a very exciting day. We're going to tie in, all this stuff going on, and then, but it is people, it is a relief for me that I don't have to, my pillow, which never did anything when Dominion sued them for $1.3 billion with a B, everybody. And my employees had to sit and worry about that because their CEO is out there practicing his free speech. And so this is a big relief. So we got 2 down. We are also appealing. The appeal just went out. It'll actually go out. It'll go out today. The Colorado case that My Pillow won a year ago. Vanessa, you were there. My Pillow won, and this is the last piece of that where we're putting in the appeal, and hopefully they rule on that very fast. It seems like the voting machine companies are falling like dominoes here. And then we have the last one you'll see in the news, Smartmatic here in Minneapolis. That's like a parked car. It's sitting there because if everybody remembers, the judge made a ruling before even going to trial that I defamed them, and then a week later it came out that Smartmatic is in fact committing crimes with their company, with their voting machines and against other countries, and that'll a lot of that'll be coming out too. But that was funny with that one because I'm going, okay, a week after this judge makes this ruling here in Minneapolis, it all comes out that yes, it's a criminal organization, basically. It's like I defamed the mafia, right? I figured it'd be like my cousin Vinny going, okay, in light of the new evidence, case dismissed. But according to my lawyers, that's now how it is. It can just sit there like a parked car, and judges can sit on it as long as they want, or indefinitely, or they can just throw it out on no stand. They can do a lot of things where they're afraid. A lot of these judges out there, I think they're in fear. They're not all judges aren't corrupt. They're like, that's a conspiracy theory saying all judges are corrupt, and they're not. I think a lot of them are just in fear because no one wants to go against the voting machines.
Well, Mike, when I got this news last night, I was so excited for you because you are the biggest fighter out there for election integrity in my eyes and a lot of Americans' eyes. And so, I also went back to these other companies who settled with Dominion, but you never did. And you kept fighting for what was right, and you're still standing. And so this had to be a celebratory moment for you to know that all of this fighting, there's some reward there for you to know that you never gave up.
Well, yeah, and I'm never going to give up. I think I was very clear in that. You go back years ago, and they, as I kept getting attacked. Do you have regrets, Mike? Do you have regrets that all you had to do was just back off and not keep going after these electronic voting machine companies? And if you remember, Vanessa, one of our attorneys in Colorado a year ago said to the jury, Mike's an equal opportunity voting machine basher. It's all brands. There is no good brands. They all have back doors. They're all vulnerable, and they all can be hacked, and that's that. 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. We need to have secure elections, and so. But you say, is any my thing is, they say, well, Mike, you feel vindicated. No, I'll feel vindicated when everybody out there goes, yes, here's all the evidence that we have to go to paper ballots, hand counted. And when we finally get there, we are putting, like I say, putting all the evidence up on Lindell TV now today, this historical evidence drop. Anyone can win any argument ever now. If you got somebody going, there was never any evidence, go here, have a ball, shop through. There's 800 pages. It's like it'll all be you can search anything. You can search things you might have heard about in the news back then, and then there it's going to be with this irrefutable evidence that we've had for 5 years. Some of it as long as 5 years ago. So, but I am very happy today that My Pillow, my employees don't have to worry about this anymore. Of getting attacked, because it's always been in the back of their heads. We're an employee-owned company. I'm just one of the owners. I think there's upwards of 60, 70 owners, and they've been nothing but attacked. The most attacked company in history. No one's been attacked more through lawfare by these voting machine companies, and then also our own government called Arctic Frost. And to be, it's just been, but we're still standing. We're still standing, um, and it's been because of all the audience out there that keeps buying our products, and which brings up, Vanessa, what's your promo code? You got a promo code? Is it
It's
still
Vanessa, and I'll tell you, I had a
Vanessa?
shipment come into my door my front doorstep yesterday. My mom ordered a bunch of stuff, and when I told her that her shipment arrived, she said, "How big is the box?" And I said, "It's pretty big." So she must have made a huge order from my pillow.
Yeah.
It just arrived
Yep.
yesterday. But my promo code is Vanessa. Mike, I have to tell too, I have to give kudos to your Election Crime Bureau. You talked about this evidence that you'll be releasing, the 800-page
Yep.
report. The Election Crime Bureau, Patrick Colbeck, they work around the clock to make sure that, these claims, the fake news media will come out and say, oh, the elections aren't rigged. They work to put together the evidence and now are providing the proof for all of America to see.
Right.
The proof is there that there was cheating going on.
Yeah. Well, it's every election. It isn't just the 2020. The 2020, everybody, was just the most important election, I believe, in history, because it exposed everything. Over the last 5 years, we've learned so much. Our president, our great president, learned so much. I've told him many times, if they would have flipped it back then to Donald Trump, we'd have lost our country forever. All this had to be revealed. It had to go down just the way it's playing out, everybody. And this isn't, they asked me when Donald Trump won the 2024 election, I was with him in Mar-a-Lago, and then I went up to the convention center where it was 2:30 in the morning. Donald Trump had just been declared our president. And here's all the media in front of me, the CNNs, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New York Times. They're lined up like cordwood in front of me. And here, one of their little snot reporters from NBC, I think they picked her to be their spokesman. She comes up to me and she says, Mike, your friend won the election. Was this election stolen? And I looked at her and I said, you guys know what I've been fighting for. And I said, you also know I don't trust any elections ever done with electronic voting machines, ever. And, and Elon Musk put this out. That's the summer of 24. He says, here's a guy, a tech guy, a genius going, we can't use computers in elections. You cannot. You can't put it down where a few people can cheat to, steal our country. And, but anyway, I put her in her place going, I'm going to keep fighting. And because when Donald Trump won the 2024 election, everyone's going, Mike, it's over. It's over. No, you guys, after he won, they stole 9 congressmen and 4 senators that they didn't even come in. They came in like 3-4 weeks later where everybody's looking, going, oh, look at Donald Trump won. Yes, we're saved. And as they're running under the fence, stealing these other votes to make it closer. This midterm election coming up is the most important election right at this point in history. Each one is going to be, but this one is the most important because everything could be in vain. Everything could end up being in vain. All the progress we've made, all the common sense things that have happened out there that and getting in politicians now to bring back common sense. And I'm talking, I'm no fan of being blocked by Republicans. So I call it the new common sense party. I'm running for governor of Minnesota. This is another thing. They even attacked me at that last night. You're like this, Vanessa. We had a parade where we had bought pillows from My Pillow, these little pillows, and throwing them out during the parade. And with our campaign, on the campaign bottom for My Pillow, and here they came out yesterday on the news here locally, and then it might have went national, but it was local. Did Mike Lindell break campaign violations by giving out his book and little pillows to during the parade? And what do it's what they do. Evil is greedy, and they're so in attack mode. That's how I get the word out. It was a beautiful a beautiful mini attack. They had to admit that Mike's polling number one. I'm polling that 27%, 5 above the closest person. So I'm looking forward to winning. This is going to be pretty amazing when we can break through and get what we've all been fighting for, and that's common sense change to our country.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because I know the mainstream media too well. That's where I came from. That's where I spent most of my career. And I knew the minute I saw the video this weekend of the parade you were in and you were throwing out the mini My Pillows to the crowd, and the crowd was loving it. I even saw a police officer run to your vehicle to grab one. Yes. And so I thought, oh, the mainstream media is not going to like this at all. Sure enough, like you just mentioned, they come out with a story. Is this legal? And in the story, in the interview, you said it's no different than me throwing out hats or shirts or anything for my campaign. So what's the difference? It's just them finding fault, as they always do.
Yeah, and what they said was, they go, this wasn't on the actual, what they did, their report, because it was a 45-minute interview as I sit right here in this chair yesterday. And they said, Mike, what do you think your donors feel about that? You're giving out, books and pillows and I go, well, I'm in first place. I suppose they think I'm a pretty good marketer. That is what I do. And he didn't know what to say.
That is who you are. Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'd rather have a little mini My Pillow than a shirt or hat, and if it was me. But anyway, we also gave away shirts. We gave away one event we did. We gave away all the shirts. We were just up at a fair in northern Minnesota. This was 3 days ago, this last weekend, and we gave away hundreds and hundreds of T-shirts. And boy, they didn't say anything about that. It's like, I think what they're trying to say is, you can't have corporate donors, and they always do this. They don't separate. My Pillow is employee owned. There's over 60 owners. That's a corporation. Of course, My Pillow can't donate stuff. The campaign bought the pillows from them. That we checked boxes. We went and met with lawyers and everything. I mean, the good thing about it is it's just really free advertising, basically. They're out there trying to bash me. The media, the people see through this, Vanessa. They see, well, you know what? They're attacking Mike again for giving away pillows. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's like, but
it's never ending for you, Mike. But it's been like that for you from the beginning. They attack you, but the American people love you. We have about 3 minutes left, and I want to get an update. I am asked all the time, how are you doing in your campaign from all over the country? People want to know. So if you can give us an update, I know you're leading in the polls, doing great. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we're doing, and you guys go to LINDELLGov.com, everybody, LINDELLGov.com. I need you to go there. You can help us out. We do need resources. We're running the biggest marketing plan ever, I believe, for a governor in history. We're going, just like I set up the Cause of America, which I set up over 300,000 people in all 50 states, which we did over the last 5 years. Right now, we set up all over Minnesota. We call them ambassadors that run whole counties and stuff. And we're going around, and I'm personally delivering over 10,000 signs. We're going to end up around the state of Minnesota, hopefully more. And we're because the media, other than bash me, they won't even talk to me. You're not going to see me on Fox News or Newsmax. It seems like they don't want anything to do with Mike Lindell anymore, that they've completely shied away because I want to get rid of the voting machines. I think it all goes back to that. I want to secure our elections. And so what's going on is the people around the state, we're bringing the message to them, the message of hope, and the message, the hope that we can win, which we can. And then also what I'm going to do, Vanessa, I'm going to come out with about 3 weeks before the voting starts this weekend, the early voting, but then you can vote in person in about 4 weeks. By then, I want to have my budget done for Minnesota, and it's going to show what we're going to do. We have over 24 welfare programs and over 400 NGOs. Now, we all know about the fraud here that's been happening with those. So we're going to, if you take the fraud out, this is my wheelhouse. I spent millions of dollars when I came out of addiction and helping the city of Minneapolis with Teen Challenge Salvation Army and Detroit, Michigan, and St. Paul, Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota, all these places I went in to help homeless and people in addiction. And so this is my wheelhouse, and we're going to have with my running mate, my Lieutenant Governor, Philip Parrish. He was a Navy intelligence officer, so he's going to run a Minnesota Doge. We're going to dive in. This is going to be amazing. And we're at the tip of the spear for the nation. We're going to ban Sharia law. There's a lot of things I got on the plate here that now we're not prejudiced because of the fraud. The fraud's a blessing as far as God uses all things for good for those who believe. And we got this fraud going on, and that opened a door where we can walk through and win this.
Minnesota Doge. Can't wait to see that. Mike, it was good to have you on. Good to catch up with you. I'm also asked all the time about you, and I'll say Mike is running a TV station, My Pillow, and running for governor. I haven't talked to Mike in a while, so it's good to have you on. You're missed, and I know you're busy and doing great things everywhere you go, so keep up the great work, and congratulations again on that big legal win. I want everyone to go to his website again, for his governor's race. Help out if you're in the area. You can volunteer. Please donate. Philip Parrish is chosen as his lieutenant governor. Save Minnesota. Mike Lindell, good to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Vanessa, and you do a great job here at Lindell TV. And you guys, remember everybody, Lindell TV is publicly traded now at MLMC. Go to the over-the-counter market and get on board here. We have the best reporters ever, like Vanessa's show here that we move. Everybody's watching, tuning in, and you're getting the real stories and the real truth. So thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you all same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great day.
Mike Lindell here. The radical left and the deep state aren't just coming for our freedoms, they're coming after our money too. For years, they've been destroying our economy from the inside out with reckless spending, open borders, woke policies that crush our businesses. And now they've left us with an inflation disaster that's wiping out the savings of our hardworking families. They don't want us to be independent. They want us to be dependent on the government. Well, that's not going to happen on my watch. That's why I partner with American Independence Gold. It's a veteran-owned company that's helping patriotic Americans fight back by protecting our savings with real physical gold and silver. And right now, they're giving away up to $15,000 in free silver and a free gold IRA kit. A portion of all the profits go to 9/11 first responders and veterans at the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. The deep state can't touch your gold. So visit MikeLindellGold.com or call 844-714-4653 right now. That's MikeLindellGold.com. Take back control. You know, most people think water's just about filtration, but in reality, it's about balance. What gets removed, what gets left behind, and how the water actually behaves once you drink it. Well, many traditional systems focus on one thing, removal. Reverse osmosis, for example, strips water down completely. It may sound ideal, but it removes minerals that our bodies need. The Century Wellness System was designed with a different philosophy. It removes common contaminants like chlorine, fluoride, and PFAS, while restoring key minerals like magnesium and improving alkalinity. It also does all this without tanks and without wastewater, and without requiring a complicated installation. It installs in about 15 minutes under your sink, so instead of overcorrecting, it brings your water back into balance. Please visit CenturyH2O.com and use promo code Lindell for 10% off your next purchase.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Well, hello, everyone. Well, I'm turning 65, and let me tell you, Medicare has me confused. All the junk mail and the robocalls and everything else, it honestly feels like they rigged the system just to confuse us. Well, that's why I partnered and working with Chapter. They're independent, and they don't work for big insurance. They work for us. In fact, they're the only advisor that compares every single plan nationwide to find what actually fits your needs. If you're on the right plan, they tell you. If you're not, they're going to help you switch. And it's completely free. Just last year, seniors saved about $1,100 by finding a better plan with Chapter. So call Chapter at 234-LINDELL or go to askchapter.org/Lindell.
When you read one news source, you get one side.